Quaid Azam, Pot 323. To His Majesty the King, the Viceroy's House, New Delhi, 24 February 1947, the final report. Our power in India has always depended on the prestige rather than on numbers, and it is the decline in our prestige rather than the lack of numbers that has reduced our control in India to its present state of something approaching importance. The damage to our prestige was begun in the First World War and the years that followed it. In the last war, it has had, of course, still ruder shocks by our loss of Singapore and of Burma, and our subsequent recapture of these did little really to re-establish it. Politically, the Cripps mission in 1942 marked a stage in our retrocession from power, which it was never possible to retrace. Our repression of the 1942 rebellion showed that our prestige and power were still high when we chose to exercise them, but they were definitely in danger since events showed how easy it was for the agitators to inflame the mobs or make ordered governments impossible over large parts of the country. It seems remarkable to me how, even at the present time when our power has been greatly reduced, the momentum of our prestige still enables us to influence events to the extent that we do. Next, I have got the text of Lord Wavell's broadcast address from All India Radio, New Delhi to March. This is a short personal message to the people of India to say goodbye and farewell. God be with you and fare you well. As those words mean, they come from my heart, for I owe much to India, where I have spent more than 13 years of my life. As a child, I played and grew up for 2.5 years in Nilgiri Hills, where the sun and the air of the fine climate gave me body a good start in life. As a young subaltern, I spent 5 years in northern India, and they were certainly some of the best years of my life. They were devoted perhaps more to sport than to hard work or to hard thinking, but you learn the elements of my profession of soldiering in a land which has always bred fine soldiers. In those years, I came closer to the knowledge of the common Indian people. I learned enough of the language to speak with the villagers where I camped and shot with my shikaris in the hills of Kashmir, where I was several times alone with them for many weeks, and with the soldiers of India with whom I served. My first independent command on active service was detachment of 33 Indian soldiers, a VCO, 8 Sikh, 8 Punjabi Musalmans, and 8 Dogras and 8 Pathans, all magnificent men. I also acted as transport officer to an Indian mountain battery for several weeks march, and a friend in the Royal Engineers used to allow me to come out sometimes with his company of Madras sappers and miners, so that I left India with some knowledge of a great affection for Indian soldiers and Indian peasants. During two world wars, it was my fortune to see much of the prowess of the Indian soldier and to profit by it. My last service in India has been the longest one, 2 years as Commander in Chief and nearly 3.5 years as Viceroy. They have been years of hard work, heavy responsibility. I shall be glad if I have during them done anything to repay India my debt for the 5 years I enjoyed as a young man and for the skill and the gallantry of the Indian Army, which served under me through a number of campaigns, in success or failure, in good times or bad, but always with the value and the endurance of true warriors. I'm conscious of the mistake I have made in these years, But I hope you will know that I have always tried to work for the welfare of India's inhabitants and for the advancement of India towards self rule.